So today we're diving into a really comprehensive source for planning out the year ahead. It's from the legendary Leadership Academy.
Right. And they have this strong premise. They argue that resolutions often fail, not because of lack of trying, but because the process itself is flawed.
Exactly. It's like you keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, the CEO, June Gilbert Collins,
Yeah.
she points out that most people give up pretty quickly, maybe just a couple of months in, because they haven't really dug deep into the underlying issues or, changed their actual mindset. It's that old definition of insanity, right?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over.
And expecting different results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mission here isn't about speed. This guide actually tells you, look, take your time.
Definitely. It says you need a quiet space. You need to really let these questions sink in to build that foundation for what they call your finest year ever.
Okay, so where does it kick off? What's the first step in this deep dive?
Well, it starts by really demanding honesty about how you feel, not just, listing achievements. The question is literally, how do I feel about where I am in my life right now?
That feels different, more internal.
It is. And then you identify your number one success and your number one challenge from the past year. But the crucial part, it's detailing the lessons learned from both. Not just what happened, but what you took away from it.
That makes sense. And I notice it also pushes you to look at personal balance, like where did your time really go?
Yeah, exactly. What area did you tend to the most?
Yeah.
What got neglected? And what were the results of that? It requires real self-honesty about your actual priorities versus your stated ones.
Okay. And then it moves outwards. I saw something about stakeholders.
Ah, yes, the stakeholder analysis. This is pretty strategic, actually. It basically forces you to audit your personal support network.
Your personal board of directors, maybe?
Kind of, across spiritual, emotional, mental domains. You identify who truly supports you, cheers you on, encourages you, and how they helped you progress.
Okay, the supportive side makes sense. But it also asks about non-supporters.
It does. And this is key. You have to identify stakeholders who do not support you. And not just who, but how specifically they hindered your progress.
Wow, that sounds potentially uncomfortable.
It can be, but it's tactical. Because the next step is figuring out who you need to proactively bring into your circle for the upcoming year. It's about treating your network as a resource for success.
Right. So you do all this reflection, this deep dive on yourself and your network. Where does that lead?
Well, that reflection sets the stage perfectly for action. It transitions into this really simple but powerful habit audit.
The start, stop, keep model.
Exactly. What do you want to start doing next year? What do you need to stop doing? And what positive things do you absolutely want to keep doing? It's about concrete changes based on that reflection.
Okay, so it's moving from insight to actual practical steps.
Precisely. And to really cement that shift, there's another step. You choose two key phrases, one word or phrase to describe the past year.
Sort of summing it up.
Yeah. And another word or phrase that will be your central focus, your theme for the next year. It's framed as saying goodbye to your old story and actively welcoming your new story.
I like that framing. Old story, new story. So is that the end of the planning?
Almost. The final stage is about making it tangible through visualization. Manifestation, really.
Ah, the vision board part.
Right. You're guided to really visualize your desired lifestyle for the next year. Goals, yes, but also feelings, how you want to look, where you want to be across all those life areas we mentioned earlier, physical, mental, emotional, etc.
And the instructions are quite specific, aren't they? Like use actual pictures, give it a title.
Very specific. Digital pictures, magazines, poster board, whatever works. But critically, you need to link your personal mantras or affirmations to it. Give it a really compelling title. They suggest something like My Amazing Life, and then
put it somewhere you see it every single day.
Every day. That's non-negotiable in this guide. The idea, the payoff they promise, is that as your mind constantly absorbs that vision, well, the guide says the vision will become its reality.
So the whole system really hinges on that deep self-knowledge first, then some strategic thinking about your environment and habits, and finally this consistent focus forward.
Absolutely. It replaces those often shallow New Year's resolutions with something much deeper: reflection, strategy, visualization.
Okay, so wrapping this up. It seems the core takeaway is moving beyond just wishing into structured reflection and action, especially on support systems and habits.
For sure. But here's something to think about, maybe a final thought for our listeners. The guide consistently pushes you to measure progress against your personal vision and mission.
Right.
So the question is, if someone listening doesn't have a clearly defined personal mission yet, How does this very backward-looking reflective process actually help them approach setting goals for the new year? How might it help define that mission itself?
That's a great question. Perhaps the reflection is the starting point for finding that mission, something to ponder.